Welcome to the third episode of Beyond the Classroom. As always, we're telling stories, we're inspiring tech careers, and of course, these stories are told by students. These students come from a variety of backgrounds. The students come from diverse departments, and of course, they have unique stories to tell. Our guest today has a very unique story to tell. She's someone whom I'm a fan of. She's a 200 level student of economics, and she's into data and business analytics, as well as brand strategy. How are you doing, Ivy?
Hi, I'm fine.
Ivy Elebesunu, you're one of those people where when I go on LinkedIn, I'll see an Ivy post. I'm on Twitter, I see an Ivy post. You're really big on putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say I'm just gonna put it out there, right? Thanks so much for doing that. You might not realize it, but like by doing that, you inspire a lot of people out there, right?
Thank you.
So thanks so much. Ivy, thanks for coming.
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
How did you get started with tech?
That was like through my mom. I remember in 2020 when I was in secondary school and Unilag did not like start positing me on time.
Nice.
So, and luckily for me, I think there was a scholarship to learn data at that time. So like, oh hi Ivy, there, I'm good in math, so it would just be the perfect fit for me. So I basically started with tech through data, but the first year was not giving.
Right.
It was not giving at all. It was data with Python. I didn't learn Excel. I didn't learn Power BI. I didn't learn SQL. I just went straight to Python, and it was so overwhelming. I remember like I think there was a project I had to like work on like data pre-processing, and I was up to like 2 a.m. and I was in my lap and I was just crying. Because I didn't know what to do. I was like, what is going on here? What am I going to do? So I think I took a break for like 2 months or 3 months, and I came back after this time for I learned Excel. I learned some Power BI. I basically learned the fundamentals.
Came back in first year.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was like pretty much how I got started in the tech space.
Did you have any experience perhaps playing with computers? I don't know. Were you like that tech savvy secondary school student?
Yeah, I actually was. I had like I had a good ICT teacher. So I was even learning basic at that time. Like all those like that time in secondary school, learning basic and everything. So I had a very good ICT teacher, and I think at that time, Daddy too was also like very like big on like laptop and everything. So I kind of like touched it small.
So your experience in tech when you got started, was you taking online courses, right? Or were you self-taught, or how did you go about that?
I was taking online courses, and I also like self-taught in English, like a mix of both, like YouTube videos and learning from like practicing, and also like taking courses on Coursera, Data Camp. Yeah.
Did you? A common mistake I think people make in tech ecosystem is I made that mistake personally. When I started out, I was taking lots of courses. I was practicing. Did you make that mistake as well, or?
Of course, I think in like your first 2 months, like it's like, oh yeah, course junkie.
Right,
but
yeah.
when I want to practice, like, oh, I can't even like import data or something. So I think that like balance, like, okay, as you learn, also practice, like, ensure that, okay, are you actually learning this thing as well? Very important.
So at some point you joined the Microsoft Learn Students Ambassador. I'm curious. What motivated an economics student to become a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador?
Okay, I think for me, at that time I was looking for a community where like people are like me. They're in school, and I could basically be myself. I could be comfortable. I could not be worried. I could not be like overthinking. Okay, can I actually ask this question? Like, so right, yeah, that was like basically my why. I was looking for a community where I could basically be free and flow with my like fellow students like me as well.
Alright. Tell me about the community. What's the Microsoft Learn Students Ambassador program like? Talk to me about it. You have to explain it to a random person. How you explain it?
Okay, so I would say if you're in university and you're looking for a community of people like you who are in tech or are looking to dive into the tech space, that should be like your first go-to. It's a community where it feels like home. It's like a brotherhood as well. So yeah, I would say just like Google it and you see more details about it. It's a really, really cool community.
Alright, so you're your second year, right?
Yes.
What was your first year like?
My first year in tech space.
Yeah, right.
I would say it was.
I reckon the first year was when we had ASU strike, 8 months ASU strike.
Yeah.
Okay.
My first year was a lot, but it was basically me putting myself out there. I came with a plan. Like during the strike, I was like, I want to get an internship on LinkedIn. So I was very, very big on like, okay, talking on LinkedIn, and also I think Twitter. But Twitter came like, I think in the 5th month or thereabout, like towards the end of the year or thereabout. So yeah, I was really big on, okay, I want to get a job. So I was basically like talking about what I can do, what I've done, and things I've worked on as well.
Alright,
So yeah.
I'll go back to the Microsoft Learn Students Ambassador program. I reckon that you work as a content strategist for the University of Lagos team. What's that been like?
I would say so far I have an amazing team because I haven't been giving, but my team has been giving. Everybody has been giving actually. So yes, I would say it's actually very exciting for me because it's like a way of me giving back to the community because they've given me so much. So I'm basically just giving back as well. To me, it has been very very fun, very different, but also very impactful for me.
As a student ambassador, do you ever come there's been any challenge you faced and you're thinking, okay, this challenge I face right here is perhaps because I'm an economic student, or perhaps you're not like from an engineering background? Has there been anything of the sort, or it's been seamless nonetheless?
I would say, as an ambassador, I think that was like, I think creating a static web app. I was very confused, but luckily I could just say hi. I think I asked Austin actually there about. So I was like, is it because they're in engineering? But at the same time, it was like very, very easy when they explained it to me. I could basically give them myself as well. So that was like very, very, very cool for me.
That's very awesome. So let's piggyback to your first year, right?
Okay.
Your first year, you had ASU strike,
Mhm.
8 months ASU strike. What's your mindset like now I'm in university and then boom, 8 months?
First off, I prayed for strike not to happen,
Right.
but I did not have it. Strike happened.
Right.
So I think for me, I already anticipated it because I was feeling, I think in February, I was already sensing, okay, I might go home. And honestly, I was looking forward to going home.
I see.
I was tired of school and I have not been away from home like for that long before. I grew up in a day school.
Right.
So I was so drained. I wanted to eat well. I was tired. So I just said, God, thank you. And I took it with joy in my heart. So I basically planned that, okay, I'll be using that period to basically work on my brand because I was looking to actually get more of a paid role, like a better pay. So I was focusing heavily on LinkedIn. So the first month was me basically planning that, okay, what I want to do on LinkedIn, like how I want to and DM founders and like for jobs and everything, right? So first month I was basically like planning like my entire like I was giving it 3 months, so I didn't reach 8 months, but
I don't think anyone did.
I didn't reach 8 months, but so I basically planned out, okay, what I want to do, what I'll be posting, and what I want to get at the end of 3 months.
Okay.
So for me, I really, really enjoyed this strike, and I enjoyed it, and it helped me in basically understanding what I want to do better.
Okay.
So I knew basically, okay, I want to do data, but I really want to work in mostly communications or marketing.
Okay.
I got to know that during that period.
So let's go back to the Microsoft Student Ambassador Program, right? Like you mentioned here, you lead the content team at the University of Lagos, and I know for a fact that since you came on, there's been an evident change in the content that's out there, the perception of the public as well, right? What's been your highlight of the program, or what's that event that the University of Lagos community has held that's been like, oh, I really love that. What's that been for you?
I think for me, that would be the watch party that we held last year.
Right.
Mostly because I think that was basically when I got to have like a feel of what the community is about. Because I could see people like talking and they were basically relating. And I think that was even our first viral tweet. I made a tweet that I think got over like 600 likes within like 2 days and gave us over like 600 followers within like 2 weeks as well. So basically, I think for me, that event basically like gave me the idea of, okay, this is a community. Like people are actually talking, they're actually enjoying each other's content, they're asking questions. I think that was my highlight for me.
All right, that's interesting. You also work with women in the DeFi community.
Mhm.
I feel like you're really big on community, aren't you?
I am
Right. So you work on with women in DeFi, and you lead the UNILAG team.
Lagos, like everything in Lagos.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's big. That's really big, yeah. Congrats. How do you start with the community?
Okay, I think when I got into the space, like Web3 and crypto and everything, I got into the space from an event. I attended an event, like I think in 2022, and I was hearing things like wallets. I was hearing seed phase. I was totally lost because I only came for my friend because she was the community manager at that time.
Right.
So a friend of mine basically like brought me, was like, oh, I should join women in DeFi. And when I joined them, they basically like took everything from scratch, like talking about how to trade, what a wallet is, like all-time high things like that, right? So I basically actually learned a lot like about the space there, and I even got like my first actual paying job like in the space, like basically from them as well, right? So when the chance came, oh, Ivy, I would love you to like see the Lagos chapter and everything. I felt like, okay, I want to give back as well, and also like basically helping people like onboard them into the space as well, like teaching them what I also learned from when in DeFi. So that was like really how I got started for me. Yeah.
Tell me about the community.
When DeFi
What do you
community.
do in the community? What's the community like? What's your role in the community as well?
Okay, so I am the Lagos lead. So think of it like I basically lead anything from trainings or community meetups that has to do with women in DeFi in the Lagos chapter, right?
Right.
So I have a team, of course. I can't do it by myself. I have a wonderful team as well. So if you're a lady and you're in Lagos and you want to learn more about Web3, crypto, DeFi, just join the community. Just follow us on Twitter and I will send you the link to join. Like there's basically a link tree just to connect and kind of just join the community. And I think we're having a training in April, just like teach them about the space and everything Web3.
Community, right?
Yes. So yeah, I think that's basically how to get started because I think this is the bull run already. So basically making the most of it, how to trade and how to make extra money as well and earning in dollars this time.
So again, I piggyback to Microsoft Lessons Ambassador
Yeah.
Program. And you mentioned training with women in DeFi. Has Has there been any training where perhaps the Microsoft Learning Center Ambassador program is trying to train students? Has there been anything of the sort, or perhaps anyone in the works?
Of course, we had a training last year. We had one on data analytics. We had one on programming as well. So we had like a couple of. It was actually a boot camp. It went for about, I think, a month thereabout. So and it was like really like, it was a lot. People really enjoyed. We had like tons of application as well. So it was really in depth. And there'll be one coming up very soon, and we'll make an announcement about
I
that.
look forward to that.
Thank you.
Right, okay. We've had two guests on board, and two of them talked about something which you also talk about, right? So it's NIUB. And I recommend that you're a communications expert intern there, right?
Yeah.
What's that like? Talk to me about what's NIUB like?
Okay, so NIUB is basically a hub here in University of Lagos.
Right.
It talks everything that has to do with tech and everything needs to pass through NIUB. So for me, when I joined NIUB, I was basically looking at having a physical work experience. I had not really gotten that before.
What point was that?
That was like, I think that was early. No, I think like June or thereabouts last year.
Right.
I was on campus. And like, you know what, I think I would like have like physical work experience as well. And like it has a very flexible schedule, right? So with NIUB, it has been very insightful and very educative because it also gives an opportunity to like network like top voices in the space as well, and also even learn on the job, learn more about communications.
Because I feel like when you meet people in the technical system here, 4 out of 10 or 4 out of like 5, 6 out of 10 people here, they are quite affiliated with NIUB because like there's this nice support group or creates like
Yeah.
for people, and then you meet loads of people also, like people like yourself that also go in the tech ecosystem. That's really nice. Also I want to touch on the African Startup Festival. You're the communication strategist for that, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me, what was that like?
Okay, it was really, honestly, my story about joining the team was very funny because that was like, if I die, I die moment. Because I think I found the event on Eventbrite and Ivy, I'm like, you know what, I can do this, right? So I found Clinton I found Elvis on LinkedIn, right? And like, okay, hi Elvis, I'm Ivy and I would love to work with. I just basically sent a DM and I'm like, you know, what they can say is no. What they can say is no. And funny enough, they were like, okay, yeah, I would love to have you. So I basically handled collaboration, like anything communities and everything. So like basically like them coming on board to like, you know, be partners with the event and also like handling situations with Stanley. So they're very, very fun, different experience as well for me because it was not really expected, but I still went for my shot as well.
And during the event, you interviewed the head of startup,
Napa.
at AWS. What was that like?
That was very different for me because I'm a very shy person and I'm a very shy person actually. So when Stanley was like, oh, Ivy, I would love to interview her, I was like, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? But I did anyways. And it was really, really interesting talking to Napa. She's a very, very humble. I think she's very soft spoken as well. So it was really, really interesting to talk to her.
So we talked about MLSC, we talked about working in DeFi where you lead, we talked about the African Tech Startup Meetup. Across all these communities, how different do you think your career would be if you were not affiliated with communities or you were not into community work?
I think I would be entirely confused. Communities for me were like my foundation. In fact, they are my foundation because it basically helped. It gave me more clarity. It gave me opportunities that I wouldn't have found by myself, or I would have taken a long time to find them, and it gave me speed. So communities actually help you. They keep you grounded, and they also give you speed. That's what I would say. So for me, join communities. They're very, very important.
Right. Also, by virtue of being in these communities, how would you see them impacting your soft skill?
My communication and teamwork. I'm one that I kind of struggle with working with teams. I used to think it was very weird working, like it feels like I can't do it by myself. Let me just do it and just move on. Like I have to like hold you accountable and everything. So for me, I think in that aspect it has really helped me and also like giving me confidence in like talking, like people skills. I'm somebody that doesn't really know how to work with people, or I can't really communicate my feelings with people, but being in that space has really like giving me like, you know, chances to like, you know, just fine tune or brush up my skills. Yeah.
Right. So you were talking about the African Startup Festival. You mentioned that you quote unquote shot a shot, right? And there's a tweet of yours that I remember something about sometimes all you need is audacity. Now, I mean, we hear that time and time again, right? But then people still tend to struggle. What strategies do you have? Perhaps if I'm out there and I'm struggling with that, what do you have to say to me? Like, how can I overcome that fear?
I'll say for me, what I do sometimes is that I enter into a character. So I basically act like, okay, you know, I'm beyond it today. I'm not going to just put things out there. And again, I think sometimes, for me, I tend to start small. For example, I can be on a group chat now, and okay, I want to send like, let's say, a link to my Medium article, and I'm thinking, what if nobody likes it, or what if like my name goes out there? So I'm like, how come I said now, please help me just paste and send this link. I just want to run away.
Right.
I don't want to just see her doing it, but then I've sent it as well. Just trying to like find a way around. Like, okay, what like is there anybody that can help you? And also like, can you enter into another character until you go into it?
Random, what's your favorite social media platform?
LinkedIn.
Of course, LinkedIn. I thought you say that. So I think the importance of LinkedIn can be like overemphasized. Like it's actually important you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
How was the experience? I mean, you're a top branding voice on LinkedIn. What's that like? Talk to me.
For me, it was kind of unexpected because when I joined LinkedIn, I didn't know how it worked. It was looking so strange and weird. But I think after over like maybe 3 months or thereabout, I basically got to understand how it works. Then I also knew why I was there. I was looking for an internship, and that was strictly my goal to just get the one to move on. So understanding what do you want from the app and how can you basically find your way around it. It's really helped you to understand what the app can give you in return. And if you're consistent with it, you would definitely go on the app. So it's like Instagram, but the how would I call it, the bragging side of the corporate world of Instagram.
That's it. So you talked about you went there to get an internship.
Yes.
And did you get an internship?
I got several. For most of my work right now has been from LinkedIn. Almost like 90%.
So I really like to talk about your works, right? But first of all, let's go on a short break.
Strength comes in many forms, including seeking help for your mental health. The Beyond the Classroom series is proudly sponsored by the Sand as a Bell initiative, advocating for awareness and more open conversations surrounding mental health issues.
Also, be sure to follow us on all social media platforms, including Instagram, Twitter, and of course, LinkedIn. Welcome back, guys. So before we left, I was going to talk to Ivy about our roles at Levitate. So talk to me. What's that like? What do you do at Levitate? I reckon you're a content strategist here.
Yeah.
Like?
It has been very, very interesting because I have like the best creative director and I have a very, very friendly boss as well. And my colleagues are also very nice. And I happen to be the youngest on the team as well. So yes, that's like, it was really interesting as well. And I think for me, the opportunity that it gave me was like work with brands like Dettol, Heartbreak, Move and everything. So like working with big brands and knowing that you actually had a part to play, that was like really interesting for me.
How far gone are you? Like how long have you been?
Almost a year, to be a year in August.
Wow. How's it like? Is it remote?
A hybrid actually. So I come on I think Wednesdays. It really depends on when I'm free. So it's very flexible for me.
Prior to that, you had worked like with communities.
Mhm.
Would you say your experience within the community, like working with communities, would you say it helps to like have a soft landing into the role?
Yes, actually, because it was even because I knew how to handle LinkedIn company pages and I knew how to grow LinkedIn company. So that was basically even like the sweet spot working with Levitate,
Right.
because I was like the only candidate that basically knew how LinkedIn works for companies. So that was basically something that made me stand out in my application when I asked.
You work with Levitate, you also work with YouDesign, and also
Yeah.
okay,
They're all linked together. So NGD and design, they're all under Levitate. It's like
Naija design.
graphic designers.
Okay,
So
right.
they're all under Levitate. So it's like I'm working for the same, like the parent company. I'm also working for the KPs as well.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's that like? How different are each roles? Like working with all three?
Yeah, to me, they're all linked because they're all in the creative space. So everything is linked from design to marketing. So everything it just so flows to me.
What was your first month like there?
My first month was weird because it was a bit weird because I'm a shy person. So I struggled with trying to like communicate with like my team because I was like, okay, will I come up as this small girl or something? Well, it was really, I think in about week 3, I was already like loosening up as well. So
I think that's two gaps you seem quite welcoming.
They were very welcoming.
Do you enjoy your roles there?
I'm in love with my roles because I think I talk about it on my TikTok, my Instagram, my LinkedIn. I'm very vocal about where I work. It's because it's like for me, it gives how they basically foster talent there is very, very, the pay alone, aside even the pay, how they even treat you, how they treat you, it's like the work culture. It's a very fun environment for me. So yes.
What was like when you got in there? What was that first workplace shock that you got in? Like, it's different. It's new.
Personally, to me, when I envisioned working in the corporate space, I was envisioning, oh, I'm going to be wearing trousers, I'm going to be wearing shirt. When I got there, and I was seeing people like do eyeliner, graphic eyeliner, dressing casual. And I came with dress and jacket. I came with dress and jacket, so that was like a shock to me. But yeah, I'm really used to it now.
Okay. So how do you combine all that with like your other extra, like your work with the community and academics? What's like your tip? What's your tip? You have, like,
For me, I would say have a schedule and know when to enjoy. You cannot die.
Real.
You cannot die. You cannot drive. For me, I think I have a I have like a schedule I work with. Okay, and okay, Mondays and I'm going to be working with, like I say, Levitate. Tuesdays are for communities. Fridays, because I have a thing where like I basically buy or like I take myself out every month. I must do something to know I have worked this month and I deserve
Nice.
treatment.
So what do you do for fun, like when you know coding, when you know in that space, perhaps doing data analysis, financial analysis, fund management? What do
I
you do?
take myself out. I go to restaurants.
Like,
I
you watch
just
movies?
I watch movies as well. So I basically just take myself out to just relax. Just spoil yourself in anything you can do. Just like relax. Just to I can even sleep as well. I don't joke with my sleep. I can sleep. Just put myself just sleep or go out like go to a park or go for like a movie or something.
Also, like people that are growing in tech ecosystem based on the nature of tech ecosystem, such that it's quite fast paced.
Mhm.
One thing that happens is you experience imposter syndrome.
Mm.
Do you have any of that when you're like?
Yes.
Did you have that?
I had, and I think everybody must have had it at some point because I think it's normal and it's a sign of growth as well. For me, I think it's a sign of growth as well. So I think, but then knowing when to like move past it and knowing that you are doing well and everything is in stages, then just going and enjoying the phase you're at is something that's very important.
Do you have any tips on overcoming it?
I would say for me, understanding that everything is a phase, embracing your growth phase, and just moving, just how I put it, just embracing it and working towards even growing further.
What are
That's
your
it.
thoughts on paid internships?
Unpaid internships, I would say from me, I think it depends on. It
Yeah, I mean-
depends. I would say volunteer roles. Like it was mostly volunteer roles, but I
Right.
think for me because I knew I had no work experience and I was looking for and I did not mind. And I think for me, they also compensated with data at that time. So like there was something else.
Right, that makes
So
sense.
yes,
You feel like if you're a beginner, you should be open to unpaid internship.
I would say if you're a beginner with no experience,
Yeah.
you can, but I think at the same time there should also be an allowance or something. If it's not monetary, is that something that are they going to like give you maybe access? Are they going to give you maybe data stipend? Are they going to give you something in return for your value as well?
You're also someone who's really big on teaching and sharing your experiences
Mhm.
with the community at large. What's be your highlights in terms of like teaching people your knowledge or like sharing knowledge? perhaps?
Okay, I think that would be like my first LinkedIn training where I had about 200 people come. I had to like teach them like branding and LinkedIn as well. So that was like my first class that I actually took, and that was like because I was expecting, honestly, I was expecting just 10 people. And when I put the link out there, now like that's it, I was like, what's going on? I was even scared, like I was so confused. Bro. I think that was like my highlight, and so far it has been going further as well. So
Okay, so you were to teach me about LinkedIn now.
Mhm.
What was that one tip, like just one thing, like you're going to teach me about LinkedIn? I'm just starting out on LinkedIn, and I'm trying to like position myself such that perhaps I could get like an intern role.
Mhm.
What do you have? Like, what advice do you have for me?
I would say knowing your why. Why do you want to be on LinkedIn? That's something that is, for me, it basically flows with everything else. Everything else follows knowing your why.
So that makes sense. What are some of the challenges you face in terms of like impacting knowledge? Or
Okay.
Is there any challenge, anything in particular stands out?
I think for me, I think the fear of, is it piracy, I would call it, because sometimes I'll give out free resources and I'll see people like, they will take it
Right.
and they will sell it. And it's like, honestly, I think they actually even cried because like I put in so much to like work on the template and I gave it out for free, and I think I used Google Drive. Somebody downloaded it and was selling it. I was so pained because I'm like,
Nah,
because in my head I'm like, I can literally sell it though. It's not like I don't want to sell it, but I'm like, let me be generous. And yet you
That's so
took
cool
it
as well.
and that was like, I think that's like a problem for me, but moving past it, we
How did
survived.
you start out with like teaching? You always like have a passion to like, okay, now I have this knowledge and I also share the knowledge. Like, do you have any points where you remember, okay, like this was what made me start this, or like when you started out as well?
Okay, I think for me, when I considered was like when I was getting the same questions across my different shows, like they were asking me the same thing. I'm like, you know what? Let me just like have a platform where I can just like do it all together. So I don't have to like reply your DM and go to that person. So like just having it all at
It
once.
links to the plan.
Exactly.
So that makes sense. Also, I reckon that networking has been very important in your tech
Mm-hmm.
career.
Yeah.
You also attend lots of tech events.
Mhm.
So some people like, even myself included, right? I go to tech events and I'm like, and I have to talk to people.
Mhm.
Like, what advice do you have someone that is perhaps shy that wants to get out there, just share at tech events?
I would say for me, being a shy person as well, because like I said, I'm very shy.
Right.
I try to like network with the person that I have like a plan, or I'll call it like my game plan. So I would have seen the fly. Let's say I would have seen like let's say maybe 2 weeks before. I'm already like having, okay, I want to talk to this person. I'm going to LinkedIn to stalk the person. Oh, send a request, start talking before I even meet them in person. So
Yeah, like-
meeting them in person is just like, oh hi, like we've been talking, and it just flows.
Right.
I'm not like building the game from scratch,
Okay.
and it always works for me. But then I think for like spontaneous networking, I would just say let it flow. Be yourself. Don't try and practice. Oh, hi, I'm Ivy, and like they're giving like an elevator pitch. Just like be very natural and
You
be
see
yourself.
You know yourself better than anyone else.
Exactly. Just flow. Be yourself.
Right. What do you think about? Do you think people in tech that are perhaps high paying, are they guys are code only, or like do you think you could do tech without? Do you think you could be in a tech ecosystem without coding, or you have to code for it to be tech ecosystem?
I would say you don't have to code. I know somebody that writes and the person gets paid about like $5,000 like from just from just writing. But then I think it also like depends on like knowing the niche you want to write on. Because it could be like Web3. I'm writing for like Web3 companies and everything. I'm getting paid that amount. Or like I'm working on like let's say technical articles and everything, right? So understanding that you can be in the tech space and not even code and still get paid your cool money. And if you want to code, that's still fine. But knowing what works for you and knowing what you also enjoy doing. Exactly. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Looking back at your tech career, right? Is anything you could change just for what's happening?
Honestly, I think I wouldn't change anything. Funny enough, because I think it basically brought me to where I am right now. And if I didn't make that mistake, I wouldn't be here. So I think I'm actually very happy with my journey so far. And I'm even looking for what is in front of me, like being worth.
Looking forward to that as well.
Thank you.
Also, you write on Medium, right? You share experiences.
Mm-hmm.
What's that like? What do you share on Medium?
My Medium is mostly for like let's say it talks about mostly communications, branding, and a bit of like mental health, like let's say particular like communications because it's also like it's not really I just post once in a month because I'm trying not to overwhelm myself. So it's not really something first I actually look up to you on Medium. I follow you. So yeah.
So finally you touched on mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And mental health is such a important topic that we should
Yeah.
have conversation about, right? If perhaps you're trying to get a job, what's that one mental health in terms of like not overwhelming yourself, what's that one mental health thing about the company that you're looking for to perhaps your work-life balance? What's it for you?
For me, I would say the company. I basically like look at the people that already work in the company and see if. Well, I know people that actually work in companies and like they're always talking about the company or like this. Like, is there a vibe that I can match with the company?
Right.
And are they going to kill me with work? Are they going to every minute? Please, I can't work like that. So basically, knowing if I can like match the vibe, I look forward to that every single time.
It's been amazing talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
Obviously, I'm really rooting for you in your journey.
Thank you.
And keep sharing like more knowledge as long as you're learning. Keep sharing the knowledge. You inspire other people. I promise
Thank you
do.
so much.
Thank you very much for coming on board.
Thank you for having me.